By now, it's a well-known fact that seasons will be a part of Diablo 4, as the game will be launching with seasonal content, or the seasonal content model if you want to look at it that way, with 3 to 4 seasons a year, essentially introducing new content to the game. Since this might be a lot of people's first Diablo or a lot of people's first game with seasons, I figured let me just explain some of the nuance around this seasonal model and answer some of the questions that I've seen in comments of YouTube videos as well as Reddit posts and Twitter. So basically what seasons are that it's optional content that you can choose to play during that season, and essentially does not affect your normal characters that you've created in the game at all. View them as completely separate, standing next to each other, and what you do with your normal characters stays within that, let's call it, realm, and what you do within the seasonal realm stays within there. Now, after the season concludes, you are able to then transfer your seasonal characters to the same realm as your normal characters, and therefore I mean, I make it sound like it's an optional thing, but basically all that happens is your seasonal characters get moved into the same realm as your normal characters, and they also take all of the items and everything that you've accumulated during that season with them to there, so you don't actually lose any of the stuff if you're done. So no wipes or nothing like that. However, every season essentially starts from scratch, and you start out by leveling a fresh new character. I'm sure you might be wondering, why would you actually do this if you could just play your normal character all the way through? What really is the incentive to play seasons? Now, first and foremost, I think that Diablo 4 is going to lean heavily into promoting new content via the seasons. So absolutely anything new that comes into the game, changes to items, new items being added, anything like that will most likely be featured in the seasons first before they translate to normal, if they even do at all. This is not clear to us right now, and there is actually a season, let's say, discussion, a developer insight coming during May, which will most likely discuss a lot of these points and explain some of the questions we might have exactly as to how this would work. Your second reason for playing seasons could be leaderboards. If you're a competitive person and like to test how fast you can level up and how high your damage can be, leaderboards are an excellent way for you to measure yourself against other players. You could be in the top percentile of people that have reached a certain level, that have done a certain amount of damage and so on. So this is a really cool way for you to essentially compete against fellow Diablo 4 players. And then last but not least, seasons will also have a season pass or battle pass or whatever you want to call it, and these will feature cosmetics that you can unlock for your character, as well as most likely XP bonuses and that sort of thing for leveling up during that season. Now, these cosmetics are most likely going to be tied per season, and it could be the case that season 1's cosmetics will never again be in the game. So it's kind of like a way of like, you had to be there and then you have those cosmetics. So if you are a transmog kind of guy, or someone that likes to dress their characters up in weird ways, then obviously playing the seasons are going to be the best way for you to access cosmetics that you wouldn't usually have any access to. Again, as mentioned, we do get one more developer insight during May, most likely the last one we get before we get the launch of the game, which will dive into details specifically around what they hope to accomplish with the seasonal model and exactly how some of these might work. We might even get some glimpses as to what the season will look like. Maybe they'll show us some of the free options that are available on the free track versus the paid track, and also probably explain whether we would need to pay some money per season or whether the seasons are free, since this is not known at this point in time. Last but not least, before I let you go, it has also been mentioned that the first season will not start immediately as the game launches. So most likely what could happen is we will start the first couple of days after launch, we will play. There could be a balance pass where they will adjust some things which are outliers, which are maybe overperforming or underperforming, and then we will essentially kick off into the first season. But I'm sure this will also be covered by that developer insight. Either which way, let me know in the comments down below if you have anything to add to this discussion, or if you have any further questions on this topic. I'll do my best to answer whatever I can. But until then, it's absolutely important to me that you have a fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. Until next video, fucking cheers.